Hello, this is Adrian Singleton, and welcome to Beyond Lean. First of all, I want to say thank you all for subscribing to the channel. Do me a huge favor. Be sure to like, share, tag, subscribe, so that the algorithm can push us out to all other people who look to build their careers with the foundation of lean. Even if you don't understand lean, but you may be looking for just very good career advice as well. So thank you all for being a part of this page. Listen, what I'm going to talk to you today about is really a game changer. And I haven't even used that word on any of the episodes because I want you to understand that if you think like this, then everything changes for your career. And you ever heard the term when somebody say that somebody's a company person, you're a company guy, you're a company girl, you're a company woman, you're a company man. So I consider myself a company guy for two reasons. I understand the value of having integrity when you work for someone else. One of my greatest books that I've ever read, it talks about taking care of someone else's vineyard before you take care of yours. And what that means is that if you have the ability, the gifts, the talent, the integrity, and the character to help build somebody else's dream, then eventually someone will help build your dream. So when you take on a job for a company, you accept the offer. You shouldn't just accept the offer just because of money. You should not just accept the offer just because you're looking for an increase, but you should want to make the company great. You should want to make sure that this company thrives and gain a competitive advantage because of your presence. So I want to talk about this. Are you a great investment? Are you worth the investment? Sure, you were able to go through the interviewing process and get through the process of answering the questions, but ask yourself, am I a good investment? And I will hope that you are a good investment. Now, I want you to understand that if you are a good investment, you should be able to 10x the investment the company has made into you. If I know that I have a salary of $350,000, then the investment times 5, I need to put in $1.5 million or $3 million at the 10x my salary. These are things that companies look at because, believe it or not, every company, they're looking at the overall capital investment they have made over the years, and they're asking themselves, the people that we have invested in and that we have a part of our company, what are they changing? What are they adding to the company? And are we really getting our investment back on a return from us investing to give this employee a chance to be a part of our company's culture? So every company asks that one question: what's the return on our investment in our people? So if a company is asking that question, can we make this question a little bit more personable? What is the investment that I'm returning back to the company as they invested in me? If this is not a question that you think about, then you're one of those employees that I call do your 8 and hit the gate. You don't stick around. You only stick around and do your job when you leave. But those of us that are company people that really want to make sure that we can build somebody else's dream to make somebody else's dream great, why it gives us the opportunity to work on our own intellectual property, it is something that happens with a person that thinks like that. People that think like this, they are promotable faster, they receive opportunities faster, they receive the income they're looking for faster, and they get the notability faster because these are people that are very humble and they truly want to see the company successful. Now, in one episode, I talked about thinking like a entrepreneur versus employee. If I think like an entrepreneur, then I want to make sure that I hire people that love the vision of my company just as much as I do. They care about this company being successful. They care about us growing our revenue. They care about the safety of our employees. They really do care. So if you are an employee that thinks like an entrepreneur, then a company, they will be so grateful to have you to be a part of the company. Sure, there are some companies that don't care about their employees, but there are a lot of companies that have great integrity and have values that showcase that they support, they really are there for the employees. But you have to think, you have to change your mindset in terms of how do I add value back to this company? So I want to give you a few supporting ideas. Here I want to challenge you to do this. Think like an owner. If you have stocks in the company, Don't you recognize that you are an owner of the company? It may not be a big part of the stock, but at least you are an owner of the company. And if you invested $10, $15, a couple $100, a couple $1,000, then you rightfully so deserve to have a return on your investment. But being a great employee that gives great contributions, you have a chance to add value to your own investment if you make sure that you look out for the company's success. I want you to think about this. How do we increase profit? How do we reduce waste? And how do we improve customer satisfaction? So if you are part of helping to increase profit, what does that do for your stocks? If you're a part of helping reduce waste, what does that do for the revenue the company is looking to gain every single month? And if you are improving the customer experience, then you have returning customers that are constantly adding to the revenue stream of the company, which in terms is an addition to your bonus, it's an addition to your long-term incentive, and it's an addition to your stocks. And could be an addition to your salary if you know how to play your cards right to make sure that you're returning a 10x investment back to the company. So employees often ask this: when's lunch? When do I get off? Is this my job? Or this isn't my job. Those are some distracting words that I have heard people say that even work for me. This is not in my job description. So I pause for a second to say, you're not really in position to really care about the company. You really don't care about the means of this company to be successful. Because if you have a job, then you should do everything you possibly can to make sure that your brand represents excellence. Your brand represents completion. Your brand represents I can do more than what you just asked me to do. So that when things happen and opportunities open up, then there's somebody will always remember, what did you do when you didn't have to do it? Or will they remember they asked you to do an extra assignment and you gain an attitude by not completing that assignment? As an entrepreneur thinking person, you know that it's going to take more than just a regular minimum hours to make sure that your business is very successful. The same exact thing happens within the company. Most companies have an 80-20 rule. 20% of the employees are bringing the change to the 80% of the revenue that's happening within the business. So I ask you this question: are you a part of the 20% that's making the 80% change in terms of the revenue of the company? Number two, in terms of another supporting idea, solve expensive problems. See, when I first started my career, I was very good at solving very small, minute problems. I was good at running cause events. I was good at problem solving. But a lot of the problems I solved were only at the plant level until I really started understanding the business at an enterprise level. So entrepreneurs don't just chase easy work. They solve expensive problems. Employees look to solve easy problems because you just want to be average. But if you want to be a person that thinks like an entrepreneur inside a business, then you want to solve the big, meaningful problems that are really gaining recognition, and you're bringing in high-level revenue opportunities of eliminating waste with any company. The larger the problem, the greater the value. So always remember this. Never say no to problems. Never say no to new opportunities. Most of the times when I have a person I reported to presented a new opportunity to me, I always said yes. Why? Because I knew that this opportunity would stretch me. Supporting idea number three: create more than you consume. Don't just consume all of the resources of the company and you never create anything. Create more than you consume and leave every meeting, every project, and every customer better than you found them. I'm going to say it again. If you do these type of things, this is how you 10x yourself so that a company can see that you're adding value and that you are a great investment. Don't just consume company resources. Create more than you consume. Leave every meeting, every project, every customer better than you found them. Businesses don't reward activity, they reward impact. How are you making an impact? I want you to become the person who consistently creates more value than they consume. So my question for you is this: are you creating and making things better than you found it? My name is Adrian Singleton, and thank you for joining Beyond Link.